5 past the hour. What's happening, America? That's happening. Oscar Peterson, right there on piano. That's the Gravy Waltz. 62 Verve was the original release. The jazz soul of Oscar Peterson. Oscar Peterson piano, Ed Thigpen drums, Ray Brown on bass, and I got this off of the Ultimate Ray Brown 1999 Verve compilation, The Gravy Waltz. Tom Porter is my guest. We were talking about a crisis in black leadership and the fact that you made, I thought, an incredible point when we were talking during the break, that being, if you're organized, it doesn't matter who's in the White House.
Exactly. Dr. King understood that.
Mm-hmm.
He understood that if you, Malcolm understood that. The civil rights movement was not based on friendship. It was based on organization and demonstration, nonviolent direct action, the economic boycott, but it wasn't voted, it was not ran by who likes us.
And it was based upon an agenda.
An agenda.
That did not matter, again, who was in office, because if you're organized around a solid agenda, you will implement that agenda, and whoever's there is there.
But, it's very, very interesting because I hear a lot of people talk about we don't have an agenda. And part of that comes from the fact is that there was a time when black people from all political persuasions descended on a city in Indiana, Gary, Indiana. And it was the first time that the nationalists and the Pan-Africanists, as well as the political folks and what have you, came together.
Mm-hmm.
And out of that, they crafted a document, an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the framework of that agenda is as relevant today as it was then.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to not try and invent something, but look at, because the Gary Convention was a result, it was a result of the civil rights movement having reached a certain stage that there needed to be a coming together
mm-hmm.
of the forces in the black community. And so you had Dick Hatcher, Diggs, Amiri Baraka. I'm trying to think who were the co-chairmen.
Was Ron Walters one of those?
I'm not
I know
sure.
he was there, but I don't know what his title was.
I don't think he was a co-chair, but
okay.
I know Baraka was, and but certainly Ron Walters was a significant participant in that, and so it brought it brought all of the tribes together.
I think Clarence Hussein was there.
Right. It brought all of
mm-hmm.
the tribes together, and they crafted a document about health, about education,
mm-hmm.
about our relationship to Africa. Congressman Diggs, who headed the House Subcommittee on Africa. So the problem is that the betrayal
mm-hmm.
of Gary on the part of African American leadership, whether it was Jesse Jackson, I don't want to just name names, but people who decided that they would go their own individual way and speak about black people, but not to or with
mm-hmm.
black people.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the kind of leadership we have today. There's rarely a discussion with the black community. I mean, you would think that Barack Obama wouldn't have to ask black people
right.
to get out to vote.
Right. Which we should do, by the way, folks. Do not misinterpret what I'm saying. You've got to participate, but you need to bring something to the table. I'm sorry, Tom, go ahead.
Well, we need to, we don't need to give away our vote. We need to demonstrate, as other people do. The Jewish community demonstrates
mm-hmm.
what it likes and does not like.
And they pay for what they like, and they don't pay for what they don't like.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The Hispanic community does the same.
Mm-hmm. In fact, there's a concern in this midterm election that many Hispanic voters are going to stay home. They feel as though the Democratic Party is taking them for granted and that they're going to display their dissatisfaction by not turning out.
I think that's true of the black community. I think I think, whereas people understand the racism that's thrown at Barack Obama, I think that the one thing that you hear about him is that he doesn't seem to have the courage of his convictions. When will he stand up? I mean, it's not a question of what he can do or can't do, but he can at least stand up.
I have said ad nauseum on a number of forums that if you fight for me and lose, I'll respect you and back you, as opposed to promising me and standing and fighting for nothing. And many, that seems to be with independents particularly. They seem to be very, very unhappy with the fact that he rolled over on the public option. And some will say, well, he couldn't have gotten it passed. Well, we don't know because he didn't fight for it.
Well, if they say, shoot for the moon, and if you don't make it, you can fall and play among the stars. But he didn't shoot for the moon,
right?
So he didn't get near the stars,
right?
I mean, but on the other hand, that to say that we shouldn't vote, but we should vote in ways in which it makes a difference. If there, I mean, in D.C., we kicked the mayor out. We kicked the school superintendent out. The fire chief resigned.
And the police chief may not be too far behind him.
Well, she's saying that she would like to stay. But the point of it is that we need to, particularly, and we need to begin with black politicians who betray us, who come to Washington. I mean, for instance, if all the members of the Black Caucus lose their committee chairmanship, there's some people say, I don't think it makes a difference because we don't know what they do anyhow. Now, they may do great work, but the fact of it is they somehow fail to convey that to their constituency.
Well, many said in terms of encouraging the community to turn out and vote for President Obama, if Obama gets in the White House, if the Democrats win, then Conyers becomes over judiciary and Rangel becomes over ways and means, and we get all these other subcommittee chairs, and we got them, and your point is?
Yeah, I mean, that's what people say. And I mean, and of course, they're going after Rangel, they're going after Maxine Waters, and the fact of it is, you have to make sure, first of all, you have to understand that your enemies will go after you. And so you have a congresswoman in Texas, I believe, who has control of some scholarships, and she gives them all to her members of her family. Well, she should be. She should be. We should just say bye.
Right.
Just bye.
That we can't defend.
It's just bye. It's not all this stuff about everybody has human frailties. Give me a break.
Not everybody steals.
Somebody said to me, Maxine Waters' district was 60% Hispanic. Well, she'll get reelected again, I'm sure, but she's got to deal with that because everybody has self-interest. And everybody has self-interest. So I think that we should vote. I think our voting should be strategic. Where we can elect a mayor, as we've seemed to have done in D.C., who can make a difference. He's already made a difference. The fire chief resigned, the chancellor of schools resigned, and the police chief understands that.
You mean Michelle Reed was not the next best thing to sliced cheese?
Well, there's this interesting question about her. The jury's out as to whether or not she had any real experience in education or knew anything about education to begin with. She was basically, a businesswoman. And Barack Obama talks about this guy, whoever he is the Secretary of Education,
Arnie Duncan,
and he says the best Secretary of Education the country's ever had. What? But he makes these grand statements, that so and so and so and so. I don't really know who he talks to.
Okay.
It would probably help if he had a black person at a significant level on his staff, in his office, who he talked to. Even Bill Clinton had Vernon Jordan. And Vernon Jordan was not just a figurehead, he was an advisor. Even when Bill Clinton got in trouble, He went to
Vernon Jordan.
Who knew a little bit about that?
Right. Oh, a little bit.
A little bit.
It's 55 past the hour. Tom, man, thank you so much, as always.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, man. Every day if I could. And again, happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, folks, 55 past the hour. You're going inside the issues. Dr. Wilmer Leon here on the Power. And we've got some good stuff coming up for you. We've had to shuffle our plan around. I'm going to see if I can get some folks that were to come on later to come on earlier and so on and so forth. But, we're going to make it happen. We're going to do what we do. 866-801-TALK. Do that. Grab a line. 866-801-8255. 866-801-8255. 866-801-TALK. Grab a line. We'll do some open phones and hear from y'all on what we've talked about today or whatever is on your mind. 866-801-TALK. It's 56 past the hour. Dr. Wilmer Leon here, going inside the issues, and we're going to listen to a little more Gravy Waltz. We got another hour left, so stay tuned. Grab a line. 866. Give Steve something to do because he's in there asleep. 866-801-TALK.